Hi, tonight's lesson is lesson 5-3, use models and properties to divide with two-digit divisors. The I can statement is I can use models to find quotients. Press pause now in the video to write the lesson number, title, and the I can statement on a new page in your math notebooks, then press play when you are ready to continue. Today's problem is a parking lot has 270 parking spaces. Each row has 18 parking spaces. How many rows are in this parking lot? Solve this problem any way you choose. Please do so now in your math notebooks. Pause the video to do that. When you are finished, press play to continue. Now that we're back, I want to solve the problem. To do that, I want to start with cubes. So first, I circle the number. I have 270 and 18. Next, I want to underline the question. How many rows are in this parking lot? Next, I want to box the keywords. Each, and then rows. Each is a keyword in this problem because when I see the word each, it makes me think that I'm going to eventually divide. But I do need to think and evaluate the problem before I decide that's definitely the strategy that I want to use. So when I evaluate this problem, I want to picture this as a parking lot. I know the total number of parking spaces in this parking lot is 270. The problem tells me that there are 18 parking spaces in each row. However, I don't know how many rows there are. So I'm thinking this as an area problem. To set this up, I know that 18 spaces times a amount of rows equals a total of 270 spaces. So I need to solve for the missing number to get how many rows there are in this parking lot. So now my new problem will be 270 divided by 18, and then that will give me the number of rows the parking lot contains. So next, I'm going to set up my problem to do 270 divided by 18. At first, I want to take my number 18 and divide it into 27 first. I know 18 can go into 27 one time. 1 times 18 is 18. Then I want to subtract. 7 minus 8, I cannot do that, so I need to borrow 1 from the 2 to give myself 17 minus 8, which would equal 9. I have 1 minus 1, and I can put a 0 there. You could either leave it alone or put a 0 there to hold the place value. It doesn't matter either way. The value is the same. And then I need to bring down the 0 left hanging there. So now my next step is dividing 90 divided by 18. I need to think about how many times 18 goes into 90. I can estimate and think that 18 is close to 20, and I know 20 goes into 100 5 times. And so since 18 is less than that, I'm going to try 5 first. So 18 times 5, 8 times 5 is 40. There's my 0, carry my 4. 1 times 5 is 5, plus 4 is 9, and I got lucky. And 8 times 5 equals 90. So now I can put my 5 at the top there. 5 times 18 is 90. I subtract it. I have nothing left and 0. So I know that my answer is 15. So I found out that there are 15 rows in my problem. 15 rows of 18 spaces would equal a total of 270 spaces. Let's see how other people solved. Jacob did something where he broke up the numbers differently. Jacob knew that there was a total of 270 spaces in all. He took the area model to figure this out. The first thing he did was he took 10 times 10 to get the first total of 100 spaces. Then he took 8 times 10 to get a total of another 80 spaces. So the first part of the problem, he had 100 spaces plus 80 to equal a total of 180 spaces so far. To see how many spaces were left over, he took 270 minus 180 to get 90 spaces he still had to figure out. So he added on to his problem. He next took 5 rows of 10 to get 50, and then he took 4 rows of 10 to get another 40, leaving him with the 90 spaces he was needing to fill up the parking lot of 270 spaces. Then he wrote that 18 times 15 equals 270, and 270 divided by 18 equals 15. So there has to be 15 rows in the parking lot. Another student, Emma, did the problem similar to how I would. She used the area model similar to mine to represent the parking lot. She used the parking lot to represent the 270 cars. She had hers split up into columns, and then she did not know how many rows there were. At the bottom, she has her equation of 270 divided by 18 to find out how many rows there were in the parking lot. She did find the answer. However, where she went wrong is that she did not explain or show her work to see how she solved it. Next, I want you to think about how you solved the problem. Did you solve it similar to me or one of the other students, or did you have a completely different way to solve it? Make sure you write your summary in sentences in your math notebook and be ready to share your thinking tomorrow.